Hola mis amores. So today I'm gonna be discussing a lot, and this video is basically about my metamorphosis and my change within the last four to 5 months. It's been a journey. So let's get right into the video. So things have changed. Um, I used to live in Madison, New Jersey, and I lived in a cramped little room with roommates. I didn't share my room with the roommates, but we each had our own room, but things got hectic and I couldn't live there anymore. And at the time I was living with my husband, but we had to go our separate ways, so I ended up moving back with my parents. And that was a sign of relief for me because I didn't know what was going to happen. I was running out of money. I had just been previously hospitalized. I had a relapse, and I was in a psychiatric facility. I was in 3 different psychiatric facilities within the span of like 2 months, and I had to get a hold of my emotions and um my need for change and my need for better mental health. So I underwent these things and I decided that enough was enough and I wanted to change my life around for the better. And yeah, so that's where we're at today. I wrote down these things just so I could go through them and not ramble as much, but I am in a long distance relationship, well, in a long distance marriage with my husband, and things haven't been easy, but we've been able to make things work so far. It's a lot of FaceTime calls throughout the day, and we're making it work by the grace of God. And you notice I just said by the grace of God. I'm speaking in terminology like that because I've gotten closer to God, like tremendously. Like it's gotten to the point where I associate my identity with believing and being a believer in Christ. So I go to church every Sundays, and that's what opened the doors to my new perspective on life. And that's something that I've been like very proud to say, and I wear it as a badge of honor. Um because it's something that has changed my life for the better, and it's so exciting to me to be able to share on a digital platform the ways that he has changed my life. So, I have grown in my spirituality a lot this year. Um, the most important thing, in my opinion, is my relationship with God. Because without Him, I'm nothing. And um, to be clear and to clarify, I am a cradle Catholic, which essentially means that I've been Catholic since birth. And I'm very proud of that. And something about myself, I used to reject all things Catholicism. I would only pick and choose things that I wanted to be okay with, and that was not very holy of me, or not very what's the word, like very right of me to do. But I did it anyway, and it ended up costing me a lot because I started to notice that you can't play around with Jesus Christ. Like, I don't play about Jesus Christ. And you can't play about Jesus Christ because things happen, and it's like you just can't play about Jesus Christ. Because I used to I used to be in like the new age spirituality thing. And I used to have two necklaces. One of them had the numbers 999, and it was in numerology. I was heavy into numerology. I was like very into the Lisa Lopez Hidden Files. I forget what they're called. The documentary of Lisa Lopez from TLC. I was heavy into that. I felt like I was heavy into discovering my life path number and discovering the life path numbers of other people with their birthday, doing the math, and discovering their life path number. And I didn't know that that was a sin. And then when I found out that it was a sin, I kept doing it. And I'm like, that's not a sin, that's not a sin. Like, I can still believe in God, and I can. No. It doesn't work like that. Baby, it don't work. It don't work. So, yeah, like, I used to be heavy into the occult and, like, witches and wizardry, and just, like, I partook in a lot of occult, um, esoteric, new age spirituality things. And now that I have more of an understanding of what the impact is of using and abusing those things, I'm starting to come to the light and understand the gravity of those, of that type of nonsense and garbage, because it's garbage. I used to reject the religion I was brought up in, only to seek it as I've gotten older. And this is something that has stayed with me for a long time because I love all things that have to do with God and the conversion of others. And another thing about myself, I used to consider myself a part of the LGBT community, and I was a proud bisexual woman. And that's something that I gave up, and I feel like I was delivered from that because I know I've been in that world, and I know that it's not good and it's not of God. And it just makes me cringe of how I used to be a part of that world. And I used to think those things were okay, and when they're not. And I used to be so terrified of saying that out loud in fear that I would get canceled. But I don't fear that anymore because I don't believe that, like, I don't believe that men should be with men and that women should be with women. That's just not the word of the Lord. And I it's taken a lot for me to say this, guys, because if I had said this in a previous video, you guys would be like, what? Like, aren't you bi? And it's just, I've grown a lot, and I've come to realize that I'm not who I used to be at all. The things that I used to do, the people I used to surround myself with, I'm not that girl. I'm not that girl anymore. And that's that. Like, God has called me, and I feel like it's just devastating for me, at least, to not have clinged onto him sooner than I have already, because I definitely feel like that's my only regret in life. My only regret in life is not even the hospitalizations, because if you know me and you've known some of my journey, you know that I've struggled with bipolar disorder and being hospitalized for it. But I say this to say, like, my only regret is not even that anymore, because I think that's part of the journey, that's part of my conversion. I think my biggest regret in life is not to have sought him sooner. And that's definitely something that I'll just always think of whenever I think of God and his mightiness and his love, and being adorned by God and adored by God and loved by him truly and tremendously. So I wanted to say that I'd rather trade in my rebellion and chaos for peace, because that's something that I took for granted growing up. Like, my parents were very devout Catholics, and we would always go to church. And growing up, I didn't want to go to church because I wanted to be outside playing with my friends. But church is only an hour, like an hour and a half long on Sundays. So I definitely blamed a lot of my lack of faith on religious trauma. And the reason I say religious trauma is I feel like we make it out to be something that it's not, because a lot of the times our parents are just wanting the best for us and seeking out our best interest and wanting to convert us so we have a life of full of faith. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I had to say goodbye to TikTok and Instagram because, okay, this is the thing. TikTok, I deleted today, and there's no going back now. I deleted it, and my drafts are gone because my drafts are they're like built into the app, and so when you delete it, all your drafts will be deleted. So I deleted my TikTok today, and I've deleted Instagram. It's been like, I want to say 2 weeks that I deleted Instagram. And the only times I will say that I go back on Instagram is like if there's like a new artist or a celebrity that I want. I'm so nosy when it comes to biographies, or like knowing more about that person. So I'll go on Instagram and I'll search them up, but that's it. That's it. Like, I don't go on it on Instagram. I don't scroll on Instagram at all. I just occasionally will go on there to be a little bit nosy, a little bit chismosa, and I will just go on there to see a little bit more about this person because I'm interested. That's it. But I just feel like there's just no use for it anymore. I feel like I'm gonna try to take YouTube seriously as a realm for my creativity, and we'll see where it goes. I'm still new to this, but I want to be true to this. Period. I want to be true to this. So ever since I've implemented these changes in my life, I've realized it's been kind of a lonely journey. And this is to say, like, the people I used to rock with don't rock with me no more. And that's just a realization that I've had to get over, because I understand that now with this newfound faith and this conversion and this firmness in the Catholic faith, there's no going back for me. I have to continue to uphold these values and these morals that were passed down by my parents, and I have to be respectful and mindful of that. And the people who have been genuine in my life, they have stayed, they have understood where I am in life, and they don't judge me for it. They are actually proud of me, and I'm just happy to have those individuals in my life, because that's just what friendship is about. True friendship is about, and true sisterhood is about. So I'm just happy God removed those people from my life, the people that didn't mean well in my life, that had bad intentions. And yeah, so that's it for that. So I wanted to end this video on a positive note. I want you guys to know that it's never too late to change. And I feel like people like to set timelines on change, and people like to say like, oh, I want to graduate within the next 4 years, or it's too late to change my mind about this career. And I feel like you can change your mind, and it's okay to change as long as it's improving yourself and your individuality, and it's for self-growth and self-improvement. And the fact of the matter is, you're not the same person you were 10 years ago. You're not the same person you were a year ago. So those changes that you're making for yourself in the present moment, that's what counts. That's what matters. And your future self will have to thank you for it. And at the end of the day, we're all human. And it's just because of going back to my last point of like being so afraid to say something and speaking up about my opinion and my views. I want to say that don't be afraid to be canceled. Cancel culture is just like its own thing, but don't be afraid to voice your opinion. Don't be afraid to live in your truth, as long as it's not harming anybody. And be wary of haters. They don't pay your bills. Come on, they don't pay your bills. In reality, they do not pay your bills. So don't worry. But yeah, end point, don't worry about them haters, because they don't pay your bills. And I was just gonna say this. Values, views, and mindsets change, okay? You'd be surprised. In 2 years, you may not be in agreement with a lot of your friends. And that's just life. Like, that's just life, honestly. And to conclude, life be lifin', but God be Goddin'. Yes. Amen. Love you guys.